12 phrases of the invincible Alexander the Great of ancient Greece. We have prophecies of him in the Bible of the Old Testament part of the book of Daniel, where the archangel Gabriel tells the prophet Daniel, exiled in Babylon, concerning what will be happening to the Persians, and that they will be stopped by a young horn, meaning someone credible, a king from the north, and that was who would only reign for 10 years and die suddenly. And this was Alexander the Great, of course. And it's known that he wouldn't eat until all his troops were fed. And one of his troops was very cowardly. The name of that warrior was Alexander as well, just as his name was. And so Alexander the Great stopped at him and looked at him and said, "You know something? You should change your name." Because Alexander means leader of men. So obviously he was not a leader of men, he was just the opposite. So Alexander the Great says, "Change your name. You shouldn't be called Alexander anymore." Can you imagine the humility that that man must have felt? Now, Alexander was born July 20th or 21st, 356 BC, in Pella of northern Greece. His father was the Macedonian king Philip II, and his mother was Olympias, daughter of the king of Epirus, Neoptolemus. He was king of Macedonia, northern Greece, ruler of the United Panhellenic Alliance against the Persian Empire. He was also a pharaoh of Egypt, king of Asia and northwest India, and his conquest formed the cornerstone of the Hellenistic era of the kingdoms of his successors and descendants. None of his children, of course, took over his empire. It was his 4 generals that split it up between themselves. Now, in his childhood, he was educated by the pedagogues of Leonidas of Molossos and Lysimachus of Acarnan, and at the age of 13, he studied with Aristotle. The great philosopher educated him with Greek ideals and inspired him with admiration and love for the Greek spirit and culture. And at the age of 20, he became king of northern Greece after the assassination of his father in 336 BC. The total territory of his empire, at its greatest extent in 323 BC, is estimated at 5,200,000 square kilometers and included parts of 26 present-day countries: Greece, Albania, Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, Bulgaria, Romania, Turkey, Cyprus, Egypt, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, Israel, India, yes, even Israel, India, Jordan, Kazakhstan, Kuwait, Kyrgyzstan, Lebanon, Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Syria, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan. All those stands were his kingdom. So concerning his memorized phrases of the greatest king that mankind ever saw, Alexander the Great, he said, what cannot be solved is cut. This is how he solved the Gordian bond. The Gordian bond that had a prophecy that whoever undoes this will be one of the greatest kings coming through here. And he looked at it and pondered, and he said, he took out a sword and just cut it with a sword. So the people that were there at the Gordian bond told him that he was the one that will be conquering the area. And that's what happened. And then he says, to parents we owe life, and to teachers we owe good life. And next he said, nothing is impossible for those who try. He said, I am not interested in the origin of the citizens or the tribe they were born into. I treat them all with one criterion, virtue. For me, every good foreigner is a Greek, and every bad Greek is worse than a barbarian. There were not 2 suns in the sky, nor 2 rulers on earth. He says, there are not 2 suns in the sky, nor 2 rulers on earth. Can you imagine? By will, by fairy tales, and by the art of deception. Asked how he managed to conquer the world in such a short time. He said, by will, by fairy tales, and by the art of deception. And he said, I was not Alexander, I was Diogenes. And he said, I am not afraid of any army of lions led by a sheep. I fear an army of sheep led by a lion. Oh, okay. Painful and endangered good and great works. Today, he said, I was not a real king because I did not do any good deed. He said, I'm keeping it. His hint as to who will be his successor, his last words. I'm keeping it. No, not I'm keeping it. He who is able to keep it, to get it and keep it. In other words, that's what happened to his, they cut his empire. Who will be his successor? He who is able to keep it. They cut it into four, and it was not given to his heirs. This I've translated for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.